Commissioner Gordon, Bane has escaped.
The law of attraction is not wishful thinking, it is psychological warfare, a battle between who you pretend to be and what you are subconsciously pulling toward you. You do not attract what you hope for, you attract what you believe. Not the words you say aloud, not the vision board you slap on your wall. Belief is deeper, it's cellular. It's the tone behind your sentences, the posture behind your goals, the energy behind your silence. Every second you are radiating an internal signal, and the world, like a brutal mirror, reflects it back. Most people never understand this. They think attraction is passive, that you can sit still and manifest a storm. No, the universe does not move for words. It moves for alignment, and alignment requires you to bleed. You think you're attracting what you want, but your actions betray your truth. You want abundance, but you hoard. You want love, but you distrust. You want respect, but you operate in the shadows, hoping no one sees your effort. That's not alignment. That's contradiction. And contradiction repels. The law of attraction doesn't respond to fantasy, it responds to congruence. If your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are not in sync, you create static interference. You block the signal. And then you wonder why nothing changes, why the same patterns repeat, why the same kind of people walk into your life. The answer is brutal but necessary. You are the constant. Until you become a different signal, you will keep receiving the same broadcast. Energy is currency, and your attention is the transaction. What you obsess over, you purchase with your life force. If you feed fear, you get chaos. If you feed lack, you get scarcity. If you feed inferiority, you become a magnet for situations that reinforce that narrative. The law of attraction is not poetic. It is mechanical. It follows laws as rigid as gravity. You don't fall because you feel like it. You fall because the ground does not care how you feel. The same is true here. The world does not reward your desire. It mirrors your frequency. If you send out confusion, you receive it. If you send out guilt, you invite punishment. If you send out power, doors move. Not because they owe you, but because you've become the kind of force that reality rearranges itself for. Most people attract by default. They run on autopilot, haunted by old beliefs, unaware that their internal wiring is setting traps in their path. They think attraction is about thinking positive thoughts. It's not. It's about replacing the beliefs that are poisoning your field. You say you want freedom, but your inner code screams survival. You say you want success, but you carry shame every time you step forward. That's what gets amplified, not your words, your wounds. And until you heal what's beneath the surface, your attraction will always be laced with sabotage. You will rise, then retreat, win, then unravel, gain, then lose, because your internal magnet was never rewired. You cannot lie to energy. You cannot cheat your own frequency. You can post quotes and chant affirmations, but if the person speaking them is still vibrating with self-doubt, it's cosmetic, decoration. The universe responds to your signal, not your show. And that signal is constructed in silence, in how you move when no one is watching, in the standards you keep when there's no applause. Attraction begins in the rituals you build when life gives you nothing. That's when the signal sharpens. That's when the field around you begins to change, not because the world bent to your wish, but because you became undeniable. The law of attraction will never override the law of identity. You cannot attract what you do not believe you are. This is the foundational fracture. Most people treat desire like an external chase. I want that. But attraction flips it inward. I am that. Not I want wealth, but I am the kind of man who breathes value into every room. Not I want love, but I am already love. Not I want discipline, but I am the structure chaos fears. You don't get what you want. You get who you are. And if who you are doesn't match the vision, your life will glitch every time you get close. Do not mistake chaos for randomness. You're not unlucky. You're unaligned. You've allowed old programming to hijack your signal. You've been sending out requests laced with contradiction. You want peace, but your thoughts are violent. You want elevation, but your habits anchor you. You want clarity, but your lifestyle breeds noise. This is why you must audit everything, not just your actions, but your thoughts, your intentions, your expectations. Because the law of attraction is not biased. It delivers, always. It's you who's confused about what you're asking for. To truly attract, you must become a tuning fork, so precise, so committed to your new identity that the old frequencies die off. You must kill the versions of you that vibrate at low levels. Jealousy, desperation, envy, avoidance. You must walk like it's already done, speak like it's already yours, not with delusion, but with ownership. You're not faking it, you're remembering it. Every step becomes a recalibration, every decision a declaration. Until your entire being begins to emit a frequency the world cannot ignore, that's when things change. Not slowly, but all at once. Don't seek proof, become it. Most people want to see before they believe, but the law of attraction is a mirror, not a window. You don't look out and observe the world. You look in, refine the signal, then let the mirror reflect. The proof comes after the identity is established, after the tone changes, after the posture upgrades. The world bends for those who no longer need it to approve, because they've already approved themselves. They've tuned their signals so precisely that reality has no choice but to comply. That's not magic. That's physics. The final truth? The law of attraction is never off. It's always working. The question is, what are you attracting now? The results don't lie. Your life is the residue of your dominant thoughts and unconscious agreements. If you don't like the reflection, don't smash the mirror. Change the source. Calibrate your mind. Elevate your rituals. Rebuild your identity. Because when everything inside you shifts, the outside world doesn't stand a chance. Your biology speaks first. It always does. Long before the words form, before the affirmations are rehearsed, before your conscious mind stages its performance, the body knows. The nervous system flinches when it hears a lie. You can say you want wealth, you can scream it, journal it, envision it, but if a deeper part of you believes you're not worthy, your body will betray you. Your breath shortens when you talk about money. Your stomach tightens when you imagine success. Your shoulders slump when you walk into a room of higher earners. That's not coincidence. That's a system rejecting a script it doesn't believe it's allowed to live. And this is where most people fail. Not in vision, but in embodiment. You cannot attract what your body is rejecting. Your nervous system is not concerned with your goals. It is designed to keep you safe. And if wealth, visibility, or power feel like a threat, because somewhere in your history you were taught they lead to pain, loss, or isolation, your system will quietly resist. It will slow your progress, divert your focus, fog your clarity. You'll procrastinate at the edge of your breakthrough. You'll ruin opportunities before they bloom, and you'll tell yourself it was chance, timing, bad luck. But it wasn't. It was an internal alarm screaming, "This doesn't feel safe." That alarm is louder than any desire, and unless you rewire the nervous system to believe success is safe, your sabotage will continue in silence. Desire without nervous system alignment is friction. You move forward with the brakes on, you hustle, push, force, but something underneath pulls you back. This is not laziness, this is not lack of discipline, this is survival. Your system is convinced that rising means danger, and until that belief is dismantled, your actions will remain conflicted. You'll speak abundance while living scarcity. You'll plan expansion while feeling trapped, and the law of attraction will mirror not your words but your frequency. The tension between your conscious desires and unconscious beliefs will become your reality, and it will feel like betrayal, but it's obedience. Your body is simply obeying an outdated code. You do not rise by adding more effort. You rise by subtracting resistance. The body must be rewired to recognize what you want as home, not as foreign terrain. This begins with safety. Not safety in the external world, but safety in your being. You must convince your nervous system that wealth is not abandonment, that power is not punishment, that success will not make you a target. Because if any part of you links visibility with danger, your system will shut the gates every time you get close. You will live in a loop of almosts, near misses, promises that vanish at the finish line. Not because the law failed, but because you never cleared the internal threat. This is why deep change feels violent, because it requires re-educating the body. You have to lean into discomfort on purpose. You have to normalize receiving, practice sitting with it. Let the abundance settle in your tissues, not just your mind. This takes time, repetition, patience. You must show your system again and again that having more does not equal losing yourself, that your past, your culture, your environment do not get to dictate your ceiling. This is embodiment. And until that process is lived, the law of attraction will remain a theory, not a law. People who create at scale aren't just mentally aligned, they're physiologically aligned. When they speak of wealth, their body stays calm. When they take risks, their breath stays steady. Their system has been trained to hold success, not just chase it. That's why it stays. Most people don't have a success problem, they have a holding problem. They get what they want and then collapse under the pressure of keeping it because their nervous system never caught up with their vision. You think it's sabotage. It's dysregulation. And until you stabilize that, everything you build will remain fragile. You must become a safe place for your dreams to land. You cannot build a legacy on top of a body that flinches at abundance. You cannot scale with a system that equates growth with exposure. You must turn inward, not outward. You must sit in the discomfort, breathe through it, show your nervous system the path is safe. Only then will your actions become clean, your voice become clear, your direction becomes stable. The law of attraction cannot function in the presence of inner resistance. It needs a clean signal, a regulated core, a foundation built on certainty. Reprogramming is not mystical, it is practical. Pay attention to how your body responds to success. Track the discomfort. Watch where your voice changes, where your breath escapes, where your spine slouches. These are the coordinates of your limitation. You don't need to affirm harder, you need to regulate deeper. Your nervous system is a compass. When it relaxes in the face of expansion, you are aligned. When it contracts, you are in conflict. This is how you refine the signal. You build capacity, you build tolerance, you teach your system how to receive what you claim to want. The future does not belong to those who fantasize. It belongs to those who can hold what they attract. And holding is a skill, a muscle, a discipline. It's built through exposure, through repetition, through learning to stay calm in the presence of more. Most people run from what they ask for the moment it shows up, because their body wasn't prepared. And the law of attraction responds to the whole system, not just the conscious mind. If your body flinches, the opportunity fades, not because it was never yours, but because you hadn't yet become a match. You want to attract a new life? Teach your system to live inside it now. Sit with the feeling. Breathe through the resistance. Stand like someone who already owns it. Not in performance, but in peace. Because when the nervous system relaxes, the law of attraction obeys. When you embody worth, the world mirrors it. This is not wishful thinking. This is physiological alignment. And without it, your vision remains a mirage. But with it, the mirage becomes inevitable. What you resist does not disappear, it digs deeper. It hides beneath your skin, disguising itself as preference, logic, or timing, but deep down you feel the pull, not toward something new, but toward something long buried. Resistance is the guardian of suppressed truth. It's the armor you wear when your soul is too loud to ignore. Every time you flinch at the thought of visibility, every time you downplay your desires, every time you say, "I don't need that," when you know you do, it's not restraint, it's suppression. And suppressed energy rots. It turns into tension, anxiety, self-sabotage. You're not protecting yourself by resisting, you're dividing yourself. And a divided self cannot attract anything clean. The law of attraction demands wholeness, and wholeness begins with ownership. You've been taught that the things you crave most are dangerous, that power corrupts, that love weakens, that ambition isolates. So you've buried your hunger under a facade of modesty. But what's buried does not rest. It coils, it builds pressure, it waits for a crack in your persona to slip through. That's why your resistance is so loud, because what it's hiding is so real. The very things you label as selfish or unrealistic are the exact frequencies your life has been waiting to tune into. You resist wealth because it threatens the part of you still loyal to survival. You resist attention because you were taught that being seen leads to punishment. You resist asking for more because your past taught you that asking is rejection. But resistance is not truth. It's trauma wrapped in routine. You cannot attract what you continue to demonize. If your vision is covered in shame, your signal is broken. You'll think you're manifesting, but you're leaking energy at every turn. The law of attraction is not based on surface-level cravings. It responds to the deeper alignment between desire and acceptance. And if you secretly judge the thing you claim to want, your energy will push it away. This is why people work tirelessly and receive little. They've set up an internal war, chasing with one hand while blocking with the other. Until that war ends, until you reclaim what you've disowned, your reality will continue to reflect the resistance. What does it mean to let go of resistance? It doesn't mean you force belief, it means you stop lying to yourself. You stop pretending that you're fine with less. You stop numbing your hunger with distractions. You look in the mirror and admit, "I've wanted more for a long time," and you forgive yourself for wanting. That's where it starts. Because until you stop punishing yourself for your own desires, you will never allow yourself to receive them. You will sabotage the opportunities, you will defer the victories, you will mislabel your discomfort as a sign that it's not meant for you. But it is. You're just unfamiliar with the feeling of wholeness. Attraction does not begin with desire, it begins with reconciliation. The moment you stop resisting is the moment the current begins to shift. The pressure you've been holding releases, the sabotage dissolves, the misalignment fades. Suddenly, the path that seemed blocked reveals itself. Not because the world changed, but because you did. The wall was never external, It was internal, built from fear, shame, misunderstanding, and the wrecking ball is honesty, a brutal surgical truth that says, "This is what I want, and I will no longer resist it." That declaration doesn't require permission, it requires courage. You will be tested. Your old identities will scream. They'll tell you you've changed, that you're being arrogant, that you're leaving people behind, and maybe you are. But the cost of loyalty to your limitations is too high. You weren't born to be agreeable. You were born to become, and becoming means leaving behind the false modesty that has kept you silent. The law of attraction does not serve the compliant. It serves the aligned, and alignment requires shedding the skin that was never yours to begin with. Most people live their entire lives in reverse. They resist the call that's pulling them forward, then wonder why they're stuck. They think the stuckness is external, but stuckness is resistance turned solid. It becomes a part of your identity. I'm just not that kind of person. That life's not for me. I'm more comfortable behind the scenes. Lies you adopted because truth felt too dangerous. But the danger is in the denial. Every step you take away from your desire adds a layer of resistance. And every layer you add blurs your signal. The law of attraction cannot find you if you're hiding from yourself. This is why neutrality won't save you. Indifference is not wisdom, it's fear dressed up as peace. Real peace comes from integration, from claiming the things you once shunned, from owning the power, the fire, the appetite. Not to impress, not to dominate, but to finally come home to yourself. Your resistance has been the gatekeeper of your expansion. And now it's time to let it go, to step into the discomfort, to open to what you've spent years pushing away. That's when attraction ignites, not as a trick, but as a consequence. You want to attract something extraordinary? Stop rejecting the parts of you that crave it. Stop resisting the bigness, the boldness, the rawness of your truth. Stop waiting to be granted permission to want what your soul already signed a contract with. That pull you feel, that ache in your chest, it's not fantasy, it's memory. It's the life you were meant to live, calling you back. And it's waiting on one thing: your surrender. Not to the fear, but to the truth. The truth that what you want wants you back. Most people are trapped in a loop so subtle they mistake it for logic. They tell themselves, "I'll believe when I see it," but that mindset is not rooted in realism, it's rooted in fear. The truth they never confront is this: they don't lack evidence, they lack permission. And instead of building the life they want from belief, they wait for life to hand them validation. The tragedy? Validation never arrives when you wait, because the human brain doesn't operate like a courtroom. It operates like a feedback loop. It amplifies what you feed it. If you begin with uncertainty, it serves you hesitation. If you start with permission, it gives you momentum. You are not waiting on the world to change. You are waiting on a signal from within. And that signal is, you may proceed. The reason so many remain stuck is because they confuse cause with effect. They believe confidence is a byproduct of results, that clarity comes from outcomes, that worth is awarded by others. But all of these are internal levers. Confidence doesn't follow results, it precedes them. Clarity doesn't come after success, it forges the path toward it. Worth isn't something the world hands you. It's something you declare, and that declaration becomes your broadcast. That broadcast becomes your experience. You see, the law of attraction doesn't wait for permission slips from reality. It responds to your tone, your posture, your belief system. If you hold back, the world withholds. If you lead, the world follows. Your life is a mirror, and mirrors don't initiate, they reflect. If you approach the mirror with hesitation, it gives you the same back. But if you approach it with certainty, with poise, with full presence, the reflection shifts. This is why waiting is the great disease of modern ambition. We wait to be ready. We wait to be chosen. We wait to be validated. But waiting is a decision to stay small. It's a deferral of power, and deferrals, when repeated, become identity. Soon, you don't just act like someone waiting, you become someone who never begins. The feedback loop is complete. Your reality reflects your delay. You've been told to prove yourself, but proof is a trap. When you live in pursuit of evidence, your energy is reactive, not creative. You shape your actions around outcomes, and in doing so, you lose your edge. Your power doesn't come from the scoreboard, it comes from the decision to show up before you've won. That decision, to act without proof, to give yourself permission without external green lights, is the very thing that bends the field in your favor. Because the law of attraction doesn't honor those who wait, it honors those who move. Your brain isn't built to find truth, it's built to find patterns, and whatever pattern you establish becomes the standard. If you constantly seek confirmation before you act, your mind learns that action only follows comfort, and when discomfort inevitably comes, your entire system stalls. But if you train your mind to act first, to give permission now, to initiate without needing proof, the loop reverses. Action becomes identity, identity becomes momentum, momentum becomes gravity, and suddenly you're not chasing results, they're chasing you.